There are two fundamentally different things you can do on a decentralized exchange. You can swap one token for another, or you can trade a price direction without ever holding the underlying asset at all. Most people who have touched DeFi have done the first. That's just a token swap. Fewer people actually understand how the second one works, or why it needs completely different infrastructure underneath it. That's what we're covering today. Let's start with the spot DEX because it's the more familiar one. Uniswap is the reference example. You send in USDC, you receive ETH, the trade settles, and you now own that ETH in your wallet. Under the hood, a lot of spot DEXs run on an automated market maker, an AMM. That's a liquidity pool holding two assets, priced by a formula based on the ratio between them. Liquidity providers deposit both assets into the pool and earn a cut of trading fees for doing it. When you trade, you're transacting against that pool directly. Your trade size moves the pool's ratio, which is why big trades move the price. For the trader, the whole thing is done the moment the swap settles. You had USDC, now you have ETH. Nothing left to manage. A perpetual futures DEX does something structurally different. When you open a position, you're not buying or selling a token, you're taking a leveraged bet on whether a price goes up or down without ever holding the underlying asset. And that shows up in a few specific ways. First, you don't need to own the asset. You can go long or short ETH without holding any of it. The position tracks price exposure, not custody. Second, leverage is built in. You put up collateral, a fraction of the position's total value, and the protocol lets you control a larger notional size within the market's risk limits. Third, instead of an expiry date, there's a funding rate. Traditional futures settle on a fixed date. Perpetuals don't have one, so a periodic payment between longs and shorts keeps the contract price anchored to the market instead. And fourth, this is the one that actually explains why the infrastructure has to be different. The position lives on. A spot swap is one transaction and it's done. A perp position stays open. The protocol has to continuously track your unrealized P&L, apply funding payments, and check whether your margin still covers the position, for as long as it's open. A spot AMM doesn't need to babysit a trader's position after the swap settles. A perp DEX is stateful in a completely different way. It's tracking every open position, every margin ratio, every funding accrual continuously until you close it or it gets liquidated. So here's the question that introductory explanations usually skip. If a perp DEX isn't just matching token swaps, where does the capital on the other side of your trade actually come from? Perp DEXs answer that in a couple of structurally different ways. Some route trades through an externally supplied LP pool. Liquidity providers deposit capital, and that pool absorbs the other side of trader positions. Others take a different approach entirely. A protocol-managed virtual liquidity architecture, where execution and settlement happen at the protocol layer instead of through an external pool. Each model comes with its own trade-offs for capacity and risk. That's a big enough topic that it deserves its own episode, so I'll point you to that in the show notes. LeverUp, for what it's worth, is built on the second model. It's a perpetual futures DEX on Monad using a protocol-managed virtual liquidity system powered by the VMMV. Trades reference Pyth Pro Oracle pricing. And execution, settlement, and risk management all happen at the protocol layer. So that's the core distinction. Spot DEXs let you own an asset. Perp DEXs let you trade a price, with leverage, without expiry, and with a protocol that has to track your position continuously until you close it. Different job, different architecture. Links in the show notes if you want the deeper mechanics on liquidity models or perp basics generally. See you next time.